armor with Weaver and Tiny, and the Vengeful Aura is super strong when Tiny starts leveling up Grow, because Grow is very unique. It increases your base damage. It doesn't give plus damage, and that means that the Vengeful Aura does a lot more. I believe a level 3 Grow Tiny gets... I think it's like... Something's telling me like 70 or 80 damage from the Vengeful Aura. Another great example that we've seen VGJ Thunder use has been Vengeful with Terrorblade and Metamorphosis. Okay, it's different. I can dig this. I think Treant is a pretty good hero actually in a lot of games, and it's something else. They're throwing a curveball, aggressive laner, has team fight. The only downside I see is that this support duo can actually... They can counteract each other. You need to be careful to not have Overgrowth running during Curse. That's the one thing they need to avoid.
EG going for that Mirana. So it's worked so well for Sumail. It's nice range, always that initiator that he can be. He can be the hunter. It's the team fight enabler as well through Moonlight Shadow. Oh, I just don't know about this Treant. Like it feels like he could be an aggressive laner, but at the moment Winstrike are being outplayed by EG. And I always wonder how a Treant Protector gets the upper hand in a lane.
If he gets to play against... Well, either of these supports of EG are actually not that good against Treant. What you want to have against Treant ideally is supports that... Either a way of clearing trees is great first off, which they don't have, or...
That's why they banned the Enigma too. Midnight Pulse would have completely screwed him.
Could be part of it. The other reason is also EG has played it on S4 and is really good against Tiny. That hero is so good against Tiny.
Winstrike's turn to pick.
But I think... Oh, interesting. So I think the main thing you want to have against a tree in a lane is a way of fighting him. So you slowing his attack speed, like Jakiro, is really good against Treant in lane. Not really a hot pick in this tournament at all. I don't even know if it's been picked.
It has not. It's actually one of the unplayed heroes on the list.
But you want some sort of support that can fight with the Treant, and there's not that many supports that can. And these ones from EG are not very good at it. Gyrocopter is a good core at it, so maybe they can work around it that way. But in this case, when I look at Winstrike's heroes, I actually see the potential of winning lanes, and that's what I want to see.
Okay.
This looks possible. Now this Kunkka is more than likely going to go mid, and... Now I got a little less excited. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good for the Wyvern, it's good for the Weaver, obviously, to have the aura, but they were running out of time. I think they were just like, okay, I got nothing. So they went with Drow, but...
That's actually an S4 Mirana too.
Yeah, I was expecting this Mirana to be offlane and Kunkka mid. That's why I felt like you can try to take advantage of this. I think the Tiny versus Kunkka matchup should be fine. Iceberg should be doing okay in that lane. And then this Drow top... What worries me is that I think they can lose this lane, and they could have picked another carry in this lane that would do well in the matchup against Mirana, anticipating that that's what's coming. Now, what's most important, or most interesting rather for me out of this entire draft is that this looks like EG considers Kunkka one of the heroes that can lane against Tiny. I don't want to think about it too much, because they might also be trying something out, or have an idea.
Or having fun.
But they might have... a read that, okay, the way Tiny wins mid is by getting these denies, having this huge damage, and then you have Kunkka with a similar interaction with the Tidebringer, being able to maybe deny against Tiny. There's very few heroes that can deny against Tiny. Perhaps they think Kunkka is one of the heroes that has a fighting chance in this lane, so I'm pretty curious to see how that one goes.
I just want to know how RTS is able to see. That cosmetic that blocks all vision of the Gyrocopter's eyes.
Yeah,
I've actually never seen that cosmetic on a Gyrocopter.
It's one of the new ones, right?
It has, yeah, it has to be.
Super mega omega rare. I don't know.
That's easy, just rolling in them rares.
Let me see. Actually, I think I can find. I feel like it was an ultra rare and it just. I'm really bad at navigating this. Where is it?
He's got the immortal jets on the side.
Let's see. I'm being really stupid. Oh, it's confirmed ultra rare.
I can look at it. It's confirmed ultra rare, everybody. Confirmed. Just like the green blade of the Kunkka. And the bit. Okay, well, I don't think he's played Treant Protector before.
It looks like a wasp.
Give up the smoking, Sumail. Like how when we load in, they actually show the original names.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the 50-pack of cigarettes, Sumail. Yeah, so it's propeller, missile, taunt, guns, head, back. Wait, what? It's the cone of... It's a hunter killer. That's what it is. I'm not going to try and say that name and embarrass myself even more. Alright, so dual off lane. And will be Nongrada heading up there. Try and protect up. 7 tangos and a stout shield is the way he's going to begin this lane. Down the bottom lane, Silencer arranged to work with the Winter Wyvern. And Iceberg's also making his way down for the moment. And, oh, actually, they're going to wrap around.
I think Silent saw them. Yeah, he's pinging them out. Iceberg doesn't seem to care very much.
Yeah, they just walk straight into him, tether him up. If Fly levels up Magic Missile, S4 can come in for that arrow. Sumail's moving over too. He's trying to beat into Crit, but there it is. Magic Missile into arrow. You can see it coming from a mile away. And Iceberg, oh, they're letting S4 take the first blood. Sumail actually stayed the blade.
I wonder why.
Sumail would have liked that.
It's pretty good to get first blood on the mid hero too. I wonder what the logic is. That looked very deliberate that they did this.
The courier is not moving out with anything. It's got the Wraith Band of S4 and the Healing Salve of S4. That's what's on at the moment. So maybe freeze up the inventory and then freeze up the courier just to run mid. Doesn't have to run off anymore.
Well, he's still, if he wants the Aquila, he's still going to need it later for the Sage's Mask, so I don't know.
Well, Crit's gone home, so he'll probably move up towards the top lane to join Arteezy. S4 and Fly will be up there. Thanks to all the early bounty runes, Crit's already got 2 sentries to bring to this top lane. And that's where I kind of wonder, like, how does a Treant Protector play around this? There's no sentry wards on him. He's got tangos, oh joy, but he won't be able to see any of the sentries the Crit plants, and he hasn't leveled up anything yet. Very defensive sentry ward. It would take a lot to just move around and even find that. Noise when Fly just levels up Leech Seed anyway.
Look how hard he hits.
Actually, yeah,
this is no joke.
They actually jump under. He doesn't even have a Quelling Blade. That's 91 damage base for the tree.
I really like the Stout Shield in a lot of regen build. I think this is how you should be playing your position force almost always. Just if you're contesting a lane like this, you have to be able to sustain and put the pressure on the opponent. Now, unfortunately, he's playing against the best sustaining hero in the whole game in IO with 2 flasks and 6 tangos. It's kind of difficult to cut through it, but they gotta put the pressure on though. Else they're just letting EG run over them in the lane. Yeah, it's the right mentality. I don't know. He's spending a lot of mana on these leech seeds though.
Yeah, and he's not staying close enough to actually gain any real benefit from it. Like that would be your extra sustain, and you know this is coming as well. Homing missile, flat cannon, the never-ending spam, and they just regenerate through it. Weaver's gonna burn his salve already. It's like Fly trying to get up in the face of No Fear and Silent. Arrow flies from S4, but there was still a creep alive. Mid lane looks like it's trying to have some fun. Iceberg, 6-2 against the 6-3 of Sumail. So Iceberg having a pretty good time in the lane. You would kind of expect that though from a Tiny.
Yeah. I was curious to see how well Kunkka would be doing in this lane actually, and he's doing fine so far. I think, just thinking about this lane, it feels like a draw to me. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, S4, they go after the draw range at No Fear, start to move back as S4 leapt towards him as though No Fear was the primary target. But then EG just switched. I say switched, it was probably the original intention anyway. Onto Silent. See, that just looks so smooth. The way they attack that way. Sumail.
Oh.
He's okay. Actually, when a point, there's no point in toss yet for the Tiny. Always gonna fly low on life. Crit. Still got 2 stick charges to give Arteezy a little bit extra to fly with, and they will get the kill. Another sentry has been planted, so can't just Shikuchi his way back in. If Nongrata tries it, he'll die.
Sumail just got a regen rune.
Alright. Balanced in all things.
That is so lane changing. Iceberg worked really hard to pressure him out of lane, and now getting this regen for free is basically 2 flasks. So he was about, I think it was 200 health when he went for that rune. Obviously he knew it was there from the beginning. They had a ward down at that rune, so Sumail has been playing the lane knowing that he can get that regen rune. But still, really, really important for the future of this mid lane that Sumail got that rune.
This Courier is working overtime. It's bringing the Aquila up for Arteezy. After already went down to the bottom lane, S4's finished up his. So the sustain you actually get on both your side lanes, both of them finish up Aquilas before the 4-minute mark. Always when a Fly is trying to wait for the right punch. Zone out Arteezy a little bit. as Crit will create now a triple stack, and Always Wanna Fly is pinging it out. I'm interested to see just how that contest works. Like if Non-Grata and Always Wanna Fly feel like they can actually contest that stack. They can't take it themselves, but maybe they can leech.
It's rough though, overall, this top lane. They don't have enough damage to pierce through all the region of the IO. They've tried to play aggressive, but I think the Weaver was not really able to connect with the early aggression of the Treant, and what ends up happening is that they just trade farm that is favored for Gyro, and now that they can start playing aggressively together, Crit has got such a good foothold in the lane that it just doesn't really feel possible for them to get a kill top without a rotation from Wyvern.
Fly is being such a dick. So Silence just looking for his level 6. He had some time because Wyvern abandoned the lane. He had to go, he actually walked all the way back to base. And this happens around the 5-minute mark when Silence looking for the pullover. So Fly's not going to get both the runes on bottom, and Crit's going to get both the runes on top.
It's a huge win.
They're actually even not taking the other rune, they're giving the rune to Sumail. So he's going to get his bottle charges up. Always Wanna Fly. At least he's underneath his own sentry ward, but he can't go invis for half a second. They don't see it.
Oh, he ran into it now. Oh, it's his. Never mind.
Yeah, it's his.
I was like, oh.
Breathe.
Yep.
And Crit needs more spirits. If he stick charges then pops the spirits out, actually, it's still not enough damage to kill off Always Wanna Fly. And the Observer to watch the stack. Worried about when the farm's going to come in. S4 looking for his own line for the arrow into Silent. Fly's coming in from behind, so Wave of Terror. Only level 1. But it's enough as, oh, okay, Weaver. What did he go on, and why did he go on it when Treant Protector was moving off the lane?
Not quite sure how that happened. I wasn't watching that lane either.
Sumail's getting hit pretty hard. Iceberg, level 1 toss, not enough damage. Sumail, still with a couple of bottle charges up his sleeve.
Oh, Iceberg's actually winning the lane.
Yeah, 36-11 to the 24-5.
Yep. If it wasn't for the 2 side lanes going this poorly and the 4 bounty runes for EG, this wouldn't look too bad for Winstrike, but they've lost the side lane so hard.
Yeah, Dro's got nothing, and Tree actually TP'd down now. So it's Weaver all alone on the top lane. This may actually be better for Non-Grata so we can get some levels, but no fear underneath the tower. S4 just working with Fly. They can get the extra stun, double it up with the arrow and the Starfall. Always Wanna Fly. Welcome to the hell that is the bottom lane. And then they fortify to keep their card alive on bottom too. So even extra damage into that tier 1 tower. Add more pressure, keep the TP supports coming in. Iceberg's going to try and change up this top lane. Crit actually just jumped in. He will dodge the attack. He got a couple of stick charges, giving RTZ that little bit more life, but it's not enough to survive. And Crit, thanks to the Weaver bug on him, has no armor to work with. And a great rotation from Winstrike, finally on the board.
Iceberg needs to put his team on his back. He's the only hero in the game right now that can make moves, so he has to. It doesn't feel good having this much pressure to get something done, but at least he has the right hero to do it. Like, these tiny rotations will kill in either lane, and if he doesn't do it, nothing's going to happen, because who else can make plays? Treant is weak, Wyvern is weak, the Drow is super weak, and Weaver got kind of crushed in lane, so usually you would look toward your Weaver to perhaps make rotations at this point. It's not really an option, so Iceberg got to keep riding that momentum. He's more than a full level up on Sumail, actually. It's one of the few times we've seen that.
Sentry Ward goes down, Always Wanna Fly. He should have been ready for this. Arrow will connect the X-Mark Torrent. He had the Observer Ward down, he saw the smoke breaking, obviously didn't check the inventory to see the Fly was walking in with a Sentry Ward. But you're coming to a lane with a Treant's been, he'll come with a Sentry.
That's not that bad though. There was a smoke rotation from EG and all they find was the Treant kill, who has like almost no net worth in this game, so that's a very minor gain.
They will take the tower though, like Silence abandoning already.
Yeah, they will get it eventually.
Silent just knows he can't stand in the lane. He wants his level 6, but there's not enough protection that Winstrike could provide to make it so. Sumail's attacking into the Wyvern. This is more of a bait because Iceberg, Haste Rune, running after Sumail. Intel Tread set up, ready for a big swing. It's the Avalanche, toss back over, relocates coming in, however. Gyrocopter's going to arrive. A good gust from Silent, levels it up early this game. Pushes them away. No call down, no control. And Winstrike, with a couple of heroes, barely survive, but they survive.
Yep. That's a relocate beta. I mean, it's good for EG to keep Samel alive. He's
kill
definitely
Fly.
out there without help.
I'll root him up with the Gust and then some Cold Arrows. Vengeful Spirit. 4 stick charges available, and in fact, he's already being abandoned. So
He's
Fly
fine,
into the trees. Has he got the distance?
He's
They
fast.
don't have the vision, and he is very fast. He's back towards the tier 1 tower.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Samel will die in mid.
So Nongrata with the rotation this time around, helping his Tiny out. They're staying afloat right now. Look at the graph. This is interesting to see this kind of stuff, right? EG crushes them for 8 minutes, and now in the last 3, they haven't gained any ground. And this is Tiny and Weaver finding these key kills. Now, the real challenge for Winstrike is get ready for the 10-minute runes. Don't give EG all 4 runes again. Get minimum 2. You can fight for the top ones probably if you rotate the Tiny over to the Weaver, and maybe even get a kill here if they do it well.
I'm just waiting to see their power once Silent hits 6.
They seem to be trying to only take their own runes. It might work this time around, but I feel like it's pretty risky a lot of the time to try to take both your own, because there's a good chance the enemy invades.
Jumping up.
One of yours. Oh,
Nongrata got it. Winstrike, they got all 4, and now they can go for an extra kill. Nongrata's going to Shikuchi through the underneath the shrine and crit. They even hold off using the shrine. Now they will. As I say that, Tree and Protector will die on bottom lane.
They got 3. I was like, how did they get all 4? They got 3.
It was a bottle up, was it?
Yeah, 1 was a bottle. So
Okay.
Fly did get his own down here, but what I was getting at was I think it's very dangerous to try to, at minute 10 and minute 5, to just get your own bounty runes, because a lot of the time what's going to happen is the enemy team is going to focus more on one side than the other, and they can invade you on your defensive rune and kill you there and then take their own. So if you're spread thin across the whole map on 2 different runes like that, sometimes you can get punished. EG has been very good at this. But this time around it worked out nicely for Winstrike. They made the aggressive move up top with the Weaver and got 2 runes up there and 1 of their own.
S4 leaping away. He's still got another one available. The tower gets taken out by the catapult, and this is a 4-man rotation from Winstrike to bottom lane. What they didn't know was that EG had an observer ward behind the tower, so they saw all of this rotation coming in. Stayed long enough to bring the rotation, and then this creates space for Arteezy and crit on top.
Oh, reload bottom. Silent.
Oh, actually going after him.
Good gust.
Great gust. They'll still go for the chase, and, well, always want to fly is nearby. But Crit, he's got the extra life. He's still got 10 stick charges, which now he'll use. Always want to fly will die, and they want the kill onto Silent. That's the critical one. More support is on the way. Iceberg as well as Nongrata, so they curse up Arteezy. Took a while before this arrives. Samel doesn't have his ship, he's already used it. And they toss forward. Arteezy low on life, Nongrata staying with him. Fly, he'll need to actually lend his stun, but he doesn't actually do it. No fear, so low. 95 HP sitting in the trees. Will start to cold embrace himself. Toss up, Samel. Hidden invis, wants to keep fighting up. Now back into the Moonlight Shadow, won't be there in time. And Winstrike, a huge victory for them when they can get so many critical core kills and then keep their cores alive.
Yeah, I didn't really like the way that fight started for them though. The relocate comes in, it's a good gust, and No Fear had cursed the whole time, and he actually just watched the gyro run down his core. I think he was really hoping to get a curse on the IO, but Crit kept very good distance, so the curse wouldn't have worked. And in those situations, you just gotta curse the core and get out of there, man, or at least help your other carries come in to take the fight. But they do come in eventually, like you said, so at the very least, Winstrike get the return kills.
Yeah.
And they're staying at that 4K mark, pretty much. This game right now. This definitely seems within reach, and a lot better compared to last game, where it almost already at this point looked like, okay, how the hell are you going to play this game?
Yeah, we were looking to tap out around this point last game. Now I actually have hope.
Yep, there's a dagger on Tiny, big item.
Oh yeah. Like Iceberg just looks like he can be like the murderer their team needs to be. Nongrata doesn't look like he's just going to fall over with a stiff breeze. And Dro Ranger, while Silent, is going to do the best thing he can do. Stay as far back from the front lines as possible and just give aura.
Yeah, you'd feel better about that if they had more than 3 total ranged heroes, right? Like the Tiny actually doesn't benefit
I would
at
feel
all.
a lot better about that, but at least he can farm quite nicely.
Fly stun into arrow.
Yeah.
Good
Then
curse.
Curse is out, and it will be Vengeful Spirit copying a lot of damage with a Splinter Blast, but relocate in from Crit as well as Arteezy. So they'll grab both of them. Nongrata came in to help out. Always want to fly. He's just out of range of any detection. Anyone else bring something, they're going to shift Torrent. No way for Always want to fly to escape that. Wet behind the ears. But Iceberg's looking for some kind of rebuttal, and he will not find it.
Mistimed the Splinter Blast there from No Fear as well, and the Curse would have got Venge very low, or maybe even grabbed the kill, but he used it while the Curse was still running, so didn't get the damage off.
The stun arrow again. Perfect double combination. Flying S4 have just been right on the money for this.
Oh, where's Tiny?
Always Wanna Fly is nearby. Here comes Iceberg. They're all grouped up together. Radiant of Sentry Ward is in a really good position. So they just pop the Vengeful Spirit, but leap up and down. Silent cannot escape from S4. It's too much damage, and then they get X marks the spot. Always Wanna Fly back, but once again, short of detection. Wyvern did die on the top lane trying to defend against Arteezy. That did not obviously go well due to death.
That is...
Oh, Iceberg. Jump in, goes the avalanche toss, S4 leaps away, stick charges, giving him that extra life.
Oh, if he could have been just waited half a second longer, Always Wanna Fly might have connected with a Nature's Guise attack and Leech Seed, and that would have been a great kill on S4. He's 5-0 right now. It's a really big win if they can grab that kill, but
they're drop charging.
Bounty Rune time. Nograda on the money here.
Well, he's got one. He's going to jump straight through and grab the other.
They're getting 3 again.
Yeah, they are.
But this time it costs Iceberg dearly. He went for the bottom rune. And there was Sumail, and actually 3 of them met him there. The Mirana, Kunkka, as well as Venge.
Just felt so epic. Hello, Io.
Yep, hello.
Nograda needs a little bit more help. Called out from Arteezy, keeps the creep wave as well as No Fear off the tail, but crit. He's still got 11-1 charges, and that's the time lapse out from the Weaver. Realizes there's not much more fun to be had here.
So what's next now for Winstrike? I think, you know, once again, they managed to get 3 bounty runes. EG is still outplaying them a lot on the moves and just the overall map pressure. So I think you gotta once again look toward combining the Tiny and Weaver into place and letting Drow farm. And eventually, hopefully, Drow becomes a hero. Because we've barely seen Silent in this game. The aura hasn't offered much. It's helped the Weaver, actually. That's kind of what it's done. Drow has made Weaver stronger in this game. But that's why they have to play to that strength. Oh, Iceberg getting caught in the river.
Yeah, Sumail gonna drop the entire combination onto the Tiny's head. No Fear wants to help back. Curse is available, and it's on to Fly. Sumail actually walks back in range, so he can hit in. Crits very, very low. But he's got 14-1 charges. They'll pull Iceberg back in with the X mark.
I'm surprised they didn't TP in any support there.
Yeah, nobody came. Always Wanna Fly. He actually doesn't have a TP. He's gone on a deep warding mission. Nograda, he's after Arteezy, but back behind the tower is kind of difficult. And the ping's coming. They want to go bottom lane. Silent. Look at him with the gust, and it's just Io.
Whoops.
He didn't bring anybody else with him.
Well, he wanted to bring some mail. I think they broke the tether by mistake. Oh, maybe it was on purpose, actually. They were anticipating the gust, so he wanted to not bring anyone in, bait the gust, and then catch on the side with X-Mark afterwards, but he wasn't in range. If that was the thought process, that was really cool, but yeah, they need to be a little bit closer to pull that one off.
Oh, crit. Gonna walk into Always Wanna Fly and Nograda. They need the punch to get the root off, and they're able to do so. Io still with a couple of 1 charges, but Crit won't waste it. And they're pinging out. Go for the mid tower. Fly is nearby, so is the rest of EG. This push is going to be impossible for Winstrike.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to happen.
They're smoked up. They want to fight. They have a curse.
Yeah. I mean, if they can get a curse on Gyro next to one of the other cores, it can definitely get interesting, but realistically, that's going to be very difficult to find in this position.
They also split it up, so they send Nograda to the top lane. Remember, he's still getting the bonus damage from the Drow Ranger, so he hits pretty hard. That tier 2 tower doesn't survive for long.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Always Wanna Fly is just chilling, man. Isn't it great to feel like I am doing what my hero needs to be doing by standing still for 30 seconds?
Go for the courier.
It's gotta be so chill, man.
Go for the courier on the way back.
I don't think he's going to get this.
He's going to move from tree to tree, and it goes back through the lane. Never mind. But they force rotations up, so S4's here, just a couple of fake Sumails.
Good push bottom from Iceberg. He's closing in on the Shadow Blade as well. For EG, we got the full BKB on Arteezy, so very much stronger in the coming fight. Samil has the armlet drums, so a lot of value items from him working toward a BKB as well. S4 working on BKB, so it's very clear EG have been communicating here, like, what is it we need to do to secure this game? If we all have BKBs, we can play around Winter's Curse very well, we can play around Overgrowth very well, and we can play around Tiny very well. And they're just looking at this Drow, and they're probably like, yeah, we don't actually even need items against Drow this game.
Yeah.
Until minute 60, so...
I can play around Gust.
Yeah, I can play around Gust with BKB, there you go, that's Drow's strongest spell right now.
Iceberg jumps in, Avalanche toss, they look for the combination of the Gyrocopter, but Moonlight Shadow already came out.
Yep, need detection in these plays. They do have the dust on Wyvern, but Wyvern was not part of the move.
S4 taking the top tier 1. So while Winstrike failed their gank on bottom lane, EG claim objectives. And Winstrike really wanted to have that lane pushing out. They were doing a hell of a lot of damage to the tier 2 tower on top.
Oh, always want to fly. He's in a really good position actually. This vision is very important. If they see multiple heroes top, they can just go for this dive.
He's got the overgrowth available. And TZ, does he cancel the TP? He does not. He'll let it go.
Oh, he's just letting crit go too? Really?
No, he's going to punch him, punch him, punch him. He punched him. No one's there to actually tether over to. No creep wave available, so Crit will die. And Winstrike can finish. Finish.
Oh my, if he... Oh, that would have hurt. That would have hurt so bad.
But they get the bounty runes on bottom. They take the tier 1 tower as well.
Yep, it's fine. It's a pretty even trade across the board. EG will be... If EG don't get Roche, I don't think they're too happy with this actually. The Swarm will scout. They know Roche was being done, is half HP. Scouted by Nangrata, but...
Yeah, but they know no one's in there now, so no fear. X marks, can you at least call, embrace, and delay it, but that's that mixed damage. Level 4 Rocket Barrage.
EG have so good vision up here after they took that tier 1 tower. They've been warding very aggressively to prepare for Roshan, and no fear in that situation. I think, you know, when you...
He walked underneath the sentry ward. Samel knows he's burning the drum charge just in case. Nartizi hid inside the tree line.
Iceberg realized.
Yeah,
blinked away. When you send in the swarm like that as Weaver and you see a half HP Roche, you gotta feel like
Weaver didn't realize. He didn't know where the Obs and Sentry were. Now they definitely do.
Oh, they already lost their Wyvern over there, right? Like you send in the swarm, Roche is half HP. Why would EG stop doing this Roche? Oh, they're making an aggressive move. Okay, so then they have wards here, but they have 2 heroes get caught out by these moves from EG that I think when you're playing against a team of this caliber, you gotta expect these aggressive wards to be placed by EG when they've played up in this area for the last minute. They're just claiming a big reward here. Not only did they get the Wyvern, they also get a freebie Weaver and still the Roche. And there was no real trade being done from Winstrike. They were not able to contest the Roshan with the superior vision from EG and the kills that they got on the way. So
yeah, Iceberg underneath Shrine's difficult, but he'll give it a crack and blinks away, starts to TP. At least got the Shrine to pop.
Yep.
But now Crit's also finished a full mech. Top lane may be dead. No Fear is a long way from home. I don't know if this push is really worth it for him as S4 just leaps in. Torrent connection is perfect and S4 does get the kill. Well, they may find some more. Dewarding was in place. Fly was nearby. They get the dust and just toss him forward. All the reveal, all the information up the hill. And Silent with a much needed kill, even though they may get a little bit more thanks to the relocate. Artesia and Crit working together. Silent just cannot make his way up the staircase. And always want to fly. He can drop a sentry ward, arrow flies stray. And in fact, now the sentry was starting to be de-warded. Always want to fly, knew someone was around.
Structures are fortified.
In the meantime, Nangrata actually getting the mid tower. I thought maybe he wanted to join this fight, but the call was disengage, and pretty good overall for Winstrike. They grab that tier 1 tower and they get us a trade-off. Venge for Drow, obviously not the greatest, but they do get the tower.
Considering Drow's net worth compared to the other Winstrike heroes, you may actually be okay with that.
He's starting to progress though, actually. The Drow is catching up from all this farming. It's still a long way to go for Silent. Even when he gets this BKB, his damage is not that significant just yet. Needs 1 damage item with the BKB, like...
You need to go back to the old school thing. It's like, well, I could be a great Drow Ranger when I have a Mask of Madness and I have a BKB, and that's all I need to do.
I think he needs a butter this game, actually.
A full butterfly?
Yeah. There's so much damage coming from the other side. Gyro, Mirana, and Kunkka. The Kunkka cleave he can't really dodge, but maybe the other two. Like, he needs a damage item that also gives him a little bit of defensive capabilities in the BKB. Because I think he's
Silent.
Oh, he's dead.
Call down.
See ya!
Try and Gus back, create a little bit of space. 6-1 charges, holds them. The re-heroes ended up turning up with S4 coming in late to join the party.
Gyro laugh. Oh, man.
I swear Slacks did voice line it.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Bottom tier 2 tower's pretty low. S4's looking for the denial. Iceberg's already there with the big tree. And the battle for the hill wards comes once again.
Kunkka on no fear. Oh, just barely got out. Sumail actually had the right idea with the Tarn, but he cast it too late. Maybe had cooldown, not sure. But no fear got away from there. He's actually going to get his dagger now on the IO, or sorry, the Wyvern. I'm saying the IO because that's the guy he probably wants to curse if he can, next to a core.
Your brain was just jumping ahead.
Yep. Pretty much. So,
Always when a fly got hit by that. they pinged it out. They saw the animation for half a second, and always when a fly, well, Crit arrives with Arteezy.
Just a reminder, last game at this stage, EG were 26,000 gold ahead. So,
improvement.
It doesn't look great for Winstrike, but I think if they go back through these replays, they will realize that what they did in this game was a lot better than what they did in the first game.
Yep.
At least. They've picked some better heroes, they've played stronger lanes, and they've played faster, but it's still a superior team on the other side that just is on a roll right now.
Yeah. And they're coming in. The tier 3 tower to be chipped away at. They have one creep. Now it's gone. So they can only fight for a little bit longer. Sumail wants to help out. Moonlight Shadow is there and they're going to fortify. Slow this push up.
Oh, as far as actually bottom, looking for a play on Nongrata. If he hits a long duration arrow, this could work.
It's short.
That's Shikuchi. Very quick reaction there from Nongrata, keeps him alive. Oh, Arteezy uses BKB actually.
He goes in, but the overgrowth has locked him up, and now with the curse, Sumail turns around to beat into the gyrocopter. Silent wants to help out, they need a little bit more damage, and maybe they don't have it. Crit arrives with the tethered up mech charge.
Sumail missed like 5 attacks in a row, it looked like, almost on Arteezy's butterfly. Ideally, you want to curse the Kunkka in that situation, actually, but I think Arteezy's BKB was still running when the curse came out, so you gotta choose. Do you want to curse the gyro, or do you want to just hold Kunkka in place, basically? There will be the Rex. Yep. They are so strong right now with this frontline gyro with Ag's Tether, Butterfly, and Aegis. Like, he is full-on god mode on gyrocopter.
Yeah, it seems impossible to kill. And EG, they have all the information to know when the fight's going to come as well, so they don't put Arteezy into a position where it's not of his own creation. So, Aegis Immortal is gone. The Shrine is removed on the top 2.
Arrow.
Yep. No one wants to play catch on this apart from the melee creep.
What a heroic effort. Took the bullet for nobody.
For no one. It's like Kevin Costner jumping in front, but there's no Whitney Houston there.
Yeah. I actually have never seen that, but I'm just going to assume you're right with the names on that one.
It's the bodyguard.
Yep, not seen that one. Sorry. I hope it's a film.
It is a film.
Okay, good on that. Good guess.
See, I don't even remember what the normal one is. Like, who do you normally take a bullet for?
Oh.
Apart from the president.
All I can think about is that Bruno Mars song. That's a grenade, though.
Yeah, I'll catch a grenade for you.
It's a bit more extreme, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah.
I guess bullet just didn't have the same ring to it.
Wait. Tiny's trying to relieve some pressure on top lane. Now with the melee rack's gone, there's not much of a choice for Iceberg. He needs to come up and do this to relieve the pressure. While the rest of Winstrike get as much information as they can. They were looking for some level of pick in the mid lane, but nothing really came in. And thanks to creep wave already arriving through the mid, they can attack into the top range racks if they want to, or they can just do this. Even without Aegis, Arteezy is fine. Jumping forward, X marks, shift, torrent, everything. Sumail is just dropping it onto no fear. Cold and Brage will not hug him the way he wanted to. And the relocate, Crit's arriving into the fight as well. Always Wanna Fly has no way to escape. And this is Winstrike not ready on the same page. We were only just TP'd back.
Wyvern was trying for a blink curse, but EG were very quick to react and spread out, so he didn't find the target.
Took the gyro out. Sumail has to BKB and stand a fight, but there is no Arteezy, but they have the vision, they have the detection. The sentry wall was down the hillside. Okay, they don't even need Arteezy. He is non-requirement for this game. Fly, okay, we have ourselves a quick pause as Nongrata did pick him off in the back lines. But that's a long way for Arteezy and Crit to walk to get back into this fight.
They move really fast, though.
They do.
Arteezy has 550 move speed.
There's also so much damage coming in from Sumail.
Wait, why does he have 550? Oh, he has Flutter. Okay, that's fine. Without Flutter, I think with these items on Gyro at this point, you have like 400 and maybe 50 with Tether or something. How much is the percentage on Tether again? Lovely, you can't see that while it's active. I'm gonna...
What is that? Yeah, break the link to...
14%. So he gets 14% from Tether. Obviously, he will get the move speed talent on level 20, but he doesn't have that yet. Let's see how much he has. 473, actually. That's more than I expected. He does have the drum, so that's why.
Nongrada's going after Sumail. He's a couple of ball charges away! Sumail just armlet toggles, and Nongrada gets slapped. He can buy back, and they'll probably have to if they want to defend this mid-racks. They don't have Tiny available. Oops. But a blink curse is what Nofi is looking for. Smoked up, trying to find the right target, and there's your jump right onto the IO. Just wants to delete Crit from the game, but even with the damage of Sumail, it's nowhere near enough. Always when a fly gets caught out by Arteezy. The mid-ranks is gone, and even with the Weaver buyback, it all comes too little too late.
That was really disconnected too. They went for the curse, but Weaver didn't buy back when they were about to curse. So basically, he's just setting up for no follow-up, right?
Yeah.
It's not really coordinated enough, and Winstrike once again just seemed to be falling apart at the seams in this game. They showed more promise, and you know, I would love to watch this game again with another hero than Drow. I think that's really where they dropped the ball in the draft. They ran out of time in the end. They were like, they didn't have any good idea. Went for the Drow Ranger to empower their Weaver, but doesn't have any impact on the Tiny and the Treant. And they really needed this third guy in this game that could join the fight and play the tempo that Treant and Weaver want to. And I feel like this could have been a much better game from Winstrike.
I just love how RT doesn't let him have anything. Like, Weaver comes in to attack the homing missile and he denies the homing missile. I think it's worth money. Fly, he's worth money as well. Pick up, throw him down, 312. In for Silent. Trying to build into an MKB to get around the butterfly that is the gyrocopter.
Yeah.
Oh, he's waiting for Roshan, and Roshan will spawn up in a minute.
And I need a bit more than that. I need MKB butter, probably, to start really dealing damage. Like, it's nice to have the MKB. Obviously, you have good attack speed because of your ultimate on Drow, but they're very far behind again.
Yeah, and Arteezy has a full Satanic completed.
Yep.
And he has the tethered Aghanim Scepter, so Dust Reveal, Nongrada's on the run. Homing Missile will be able to dunk him on the head. Call down will be perfect position, and the
nice burst.
S4 actually leapt in to help kill off Crit. So No Fear gets something in return. Needs to complete his TP out. Silent will be able to do the same thing. They still lost Nongrada. And the arrow onto Winter Wyvern. No way to survive.
Two godlike heroes on EG. S4 and Arteezy both.
What are they sitting at? 13-2, 9-0-12 on S4.
S4's had a great series. It's just been great, this TI in general so far. I think the really nice thing about this EG team that we're seeing right now compared to what happened a couple of months ago is that it feels like all three of their cores just understand the patch really well, and they're willing and ready to just play around each other and give each other the space to carry. We've seen plenty of games where S4 is like top net worth or top 2. Some games it's Arteezy, some games it's Sumail. All three of them know how to find farm, know how to play aggressively, combine spells, and just win the game. They're looking very, very solid.
The heart's arriving, everything's arriving, toss in. Arteezy's in pretty deep, but it looks like he doesn't really care. Crit will just relocate to come and join him, and then they at least get the overgrowth off from Always Wanna Fly. It'll cost him his life to do so. Then the mechs, all the regeneration, and the ship. No more damage to really be done by Winstrike. As EG back up for the tier 3 tower, the curse is out, but Sumail, that heart, he is so strong. 4k HP they have to get through, and that's with the armlet turned off. The buyback from Always Wanna Fly tried to get more involved, but he can't get a punch. Sumail is low, he needs time to regenerate. Nice burst, not going to give him that time. Fly will, however, the space from the swap. They get far enough away, and Arteezy with the flat cannon. The shots just fly so far forward. S4's having a field day. He'll end up killing him, and that is GG. EG take the second game, not as convincingly as the first, but still with a lot of strength.
This game was a little bit longer, but yeah, remember, we were at the 25-minute mark. EG had an 8 or 9k lead. In the last game, they had 26.